If the definition of a futurist is someone who has a physical effect upon the shape of the future, then I'm a futurist. I am, by definition, an optimist. I'm hardwired to optimism. If I believed that what I was doing had no consequence, I would stop doing it right now. Some of the earliest reading I did was the Eagle Annual, and in it there was Dan Dare, Pilot of the Future. This was a cartoon strip, as we call it now, but it was far more than that. Apart from the fact that it was incredibly beautifully crafted, it was a piece of what I call optimistic futurism. You'd look at it, and it wasn't the kind of futurism that we see at the moment, which is nihilistic and post-apocalyptic and really a bit of a downer. It didn't talk about global warming and terrorism. What it talked about was going to the moon and going to Mars and pushing out into the outer planets. It didn't talk about war, it talked about community and developing of really wonderful new positive things. So that had a massively important effect on me as a designer, because it made me realize that as someone who's creating the future, and that's what we do, product designers, transportation designers actually do it, then if you wake up in the morning and you feel like you're in a bad mood and you produce a crap thing, then you're going to visit a million devils on people forever by doing that. So it was very clear to me that pessimism was incompatible with the role of the product designer working at the kind of level that I found myself working at, is that you had to be the opposite. We make the future, it doesn't just happen. Steve Jobs had remarked that the further you move into the future, the less competitors there are. If you stand in the future and then draw the present towards you, a series of stepping stones, then you're liberated to a view of what's going to happen that nobody else has got. You have to rewire businesses so that they will pitch themselves into the future, and you've got to offer the confidence to them of how to do that, which means trying to introduce ways of persuading people that verge on the metrics, because businesses run on metrics. You've got to learn the words of business, and you've got to learn to find ways to let people know it's going to be okay. The kind of world I imagine from 10 to 15 years from now is a very, very, very different world than the one that we're living in at the moment. We've got to deal with the realities of things. We talk about environmental effects, but we need to do something about it. I see a world where water of all forms becomes terribly important. Clean water, potable water, how high is it your building water? We're going to see a world where population numbers will have to alter one form or another, either by very considerable political pressure or by some cataclysm or something. That's the dark side. The light side is that from a design point of view, there are thousands of completely new challenges that need to be taken up. And history tells us it's the designers that think about them first.